Hello, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. This is Paint the Town Dead, and I am one half of your host, Caitlin.
I'm one half of the other side of this hosting thing. I'm Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
And I have 2.5 times of 5G coursing through my body.
Is it because you got a new phone?
No, it's because I got the first dose of the vaccine.
You got your implant? Your first implant?
That's right.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, so I'm only at 2.5 G right now.
Not at 5. Oh,
not
I get
at 5
it.
because it takes 2. Yeah, it's a very good joke.
It's math.
It's not a good joke at all.
And I just got it.
It's the worst joke.
Very good.
So yeah, now they can finally track me because they couldn't do it with my phone before. I'm sure.
Not at all.
So good times.
Welcome to the Illuminati.
That's right. I've always wanted to be one of the elites.
I've always wanted to be Dan Brown in Da Vinci Code.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
You know what I'm saying, though.
I want to be the elites. I want to be the ones that go to the Bohemian Grove and worship the owl or whatever crazy thing Alex Jones talks about.
What just happened? What are you talking about?
It's a conspiracy dumb thing.
An owl?
Yeah, it's like a big owl statue that they allegedly worship.
Who's they? Why are they doing this?
Oh, you know. They.
Is it the others from the island on Lost?
It's just like the rich people from all around the world. They're all secret socialist Satanists.
Oh, you mean what's that guy that died in prison?
Oh, Epstein?
Yeah, like him?
Not necessarily, but I don't know if he was
the Clintons.
Supposedly.
It was the Clintons.
Clintons are definitely involved.
100%.
The Clintons and Obama and Bill Gates and blah, 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 blah. You get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So this is Andrew's been on the internet too much.
This is like from stuff from forever ago that I remember.
I don't know about it.
It was back when I used to look at conspiracy stuff a lot because I thought it was funny.
Yes.
And then they elected an orange conspiracy man to be president, and it became less fun.
It became far too real.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this was all a joke. Why? I didn't
realize.
I didn't want it. I didn't
realize there were actually like tens of millions of weirdos out here who legitimately believed this.
It, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, here we are.
So, anyway. That's the world.
Yep.
Let's talk about the world.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Jack Harold Jones Jr.
This one
is quite the thing.
This has been on the list forever. Okay, is this the guy that was executed at the same time as the other guy?
He's one of the guys who's executed at the same time as another guy, yes.
Is this the...
There's a lot of people like that during this time period.
Yes, there are. There were quite a... It's in the 90s? We in the 90s? Late 80s?
Well...
Part of it?
90s is going to be where we're going to mostly be taking our time here.
Okay.
This isn't a particularly long one, I don't think, but we'll get through it.
I'm ready.
Together.
I'm interested. I can't wait for this one. Mostly just you.
As a team.
Okay.
You'll be here too.
I'll listen.
You're I'm like the point guard. I'm dishing the ball everywhere. And then when you chime in with stuff, that's you getting a bucket off of a pass I made.
How about...
And I get the assist.
You're Harry Potter, or I'm Harry Potter. I'm Hermione, because I'm smart.
Oh, is there like a
Lavender Brown.
different girl you can be?
I'm Lavender Brown.
Okay. I was like, because you're not the only other girl I can think of off the top of my head is Luna, and that's not you. Ginny, I guess, yeah.
One of the...
I don't know.
Patel twins?
The Who's?
Parvati and Padma?
Are these like book people?
Yes.
Mostly book people?
They were in the movie. It's who Ron and Harry brought to the Yule Ball in the 4th movie/book.
I don't remember that part.
It's this analogy has gone on too long.
I remember the fact that Bulgaria is a big deal in that, and that's weird.
It's only because Victor Crumb is there.
Okay, yeah, because they're like he's the guy,
the best seeker in the world.
Where all did they come from? Like France, Bulgaria, and somewhere else,
and England, Scotland.
Well, yeah, they were already there.
That's it.
I mean, it's just those three.
Yeah.
It's the
Tri-Wizard tournament. Come on.
It is fun that one of the guys is from Bulgaria, though.
Represent.
Yeah, just like this random Eastern European country that most people don't know about.
I've never been there.
I mean, I haven't been to Europe at all, so,
Tell me a fact of Bulgaria.
The capital is Sofia.
How do you know that?
I looked it up.
Why? When?
I think I was doing a Sporkle quiz. Oh. And that's how I've learned to remember that one. Also, the professional wrestler Miro, he's from Bulgaria.
Is he a seeker?
He's a big dude.
Oh.
I don't know.
He wouldn't be a seeker then. Seekers are light and fast.
He seems like he would bludgeon somebody, and bludgeoner's a thing.
Oh my gosh!
So anyway, Jack Harold Jones Jr. Let's talk about this guy.
Yes.
Caitlin's already spoiled the whole thing.
It's on. Did I?
I mean, kind of.
Oh.
Except you're leaving out a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Caitlin spoiled part of the end.
I didn't mean to.
Except,
this is par for the course.
Or did she spoil the end? Maybe there's more to it than she thinks. Let's find out.
Probably.
So it's Jack Harold Jones Jr. He was born August 10th, 1964 in Toledo, Ohio. That's where he grew up. Had a really rotten childhood, as a lot of people who are on our show did.
Yeah.
He was both sexually and physically abused by his father.
Jeez.
Would have severe mental illness.
I can imagine
as often happens.
Yeah.
He would later be diagnosed with bipolar disorder and had a history of depression, such as the 2 times I know of that he tried to commit suicide.
Okay, this is just really depressing. You're starting this off on a really depressing note.
Caitlin, have you listened to the show?
You do realize the name of the show is Paint the Town Dead.
We are exploring the worst things possible, pretty much.
That's really sad.
Your episode for Black History Month involved just the worst.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear it from you right now.
Okay.
He was committed to a hospital for a time because of suicidal ideation, and he did the thing that a lot of people with mental illnesses do.
Yes.
Self-medication.
Of course. It happens a lot.
Yeah. Not a great idea, especially when one of those medications is called meth.
That's not a good one.
Don't do meth.
Don't do drugs in general, but especially meth.
For real. Like meth, there's like, sometimes they're like, oh, people with using psychotropic drugs, it helped them if we monitor them
meth
or whatever.
Meth is not a psychotropic.
Meth is not it.
Meth is chemical. Meth is gasoline.
Meth is how you end up having teeth like that dude on Tiger King.
Yes.
But he got those fixed at some point.
Yes, he did. Meth is how you end up. Do you know Natasha Lyonne? She plays in Orange is the New Black and Russian Doll.
Oh, I think I do know who that is because I've seen Russian Doll.
Hair.
Yeah.
She's only 40 something. She was in the early 2000s. In her younger days, she got messed up in meth, and then in probably her 30s, she had to have open heart surgery to replace the valves in her heart because, you guessed it, meth.
Oh my gosh.
So don't do meth or you'll have open heart surgery in your 30s.
For real. Instead of doing meth, just watch Breaking Bad. I don't know.
Please.
It's a good show. Just watch it in general.
Yeah.
In fact, instead of doing meth, do just about anything else with your life.
Please. Don't, except murder. Don't murder either.
Don't murder.
Or rape.
Like, I think the crime element is implied.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's implied. Don't do
things.
that.
Do good things.
So, June 6th, 1995, we go to a place called Bald Knob, Arkansas. It is...
boy, it's a winner of a place.
It's pretty small. It's like the last town. If you drive from, say, Little Rock to Jonesboro...
Yes.
Bald Knob is the last town for a long while. There's like each town gets further away, and then it's just like, okay, you hit Bald Knob, and now you don't hit like Newport until like an hour later almost. It feels like
there's nothing.
Yeah, you really hit nothing. The Bulldog Diner's famous there.
Yes,
in
it
Bald
is.
Knob.
Yes, it is.
So we're gonna follow a woman named Mary Phillips. She's 34 years old, a mother of 3 children. She works at an accounting office there in Bald Knob.
They have an accounting office?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Well, I mean,
When you say Bald Knob is the last stop, it's like population maybe 200.
It's definitely bigger than 200,
no
but
way.
That's fine.
Okay.
I guarantee it's bigger than 200.
Okay.
I guarantee it's in the thousands.
No.
I guarantee it.
Okay.
1 billion% guarantee.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'll give you $1. A whole $1. I'm not rich. I'm not gonna make a big bet. You don't bet more than like what you can lose, unless you have a problem.
It's like when I watched Jeopardy the other day, and this person, not double Jeopardy. What's the ending question?
I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
where you make your bet.
The ending question where they give you the topic and you make your bet of how much you're going to bet on it based on your knowledge of that topic, basically. And this person
also how much money you have.
Yes, this person was winning. They had like $20,000. They bet $19,999, and they got the question wrong.
That's crazy.
I was like, ooh,
so
that was bad.
A lot of times when you see like where they like way ahead.
I mean, they were winning.
I was gonna say because a lot of times people when they get way ahead, if they realize like they can't beat me, they'll just be like $1.
Yeah,
like, or even 0. I think you can bet 0 if you want.
Yeah. By the way, Bald Knob population 2,878.
You're off by a whole 0 at least.
At least.
Yeah. So
anyway,
Mary is at her office with one of her daughters, her 11-year-old daughter Lacy, just having a regular old day. They're going to go to the dentist later and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool Tuesday.
No, today's not. I almost said today's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday if you listen to this on the day it comes out.
There we go.
So, it's normal until a man arrives.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
You shouldn't. You know the show.
I've been here before.
His name is Jack Harold Jones, as we know. He shows up. And he'd actually been there earlier in the day and came back. So I guess kind of like scoping things out, maybe.
Was he seeking their services?
He was at least acting like he was.
Okay.
So he shows up and he says that he is sorry because he's going to have to rob them. And he holds them at gunpoint.
This little girl and her mom?
Yes.
How old is the girl? 11, you said?
11.
Okay.
And so he takes them into a break room in this little office area. And I guess they're like the only two there, basically. Orders both of them to lay down on their stomach while he takes all the cash out. And then he ties Mary to a chair with a wire, like a stereo wire that he found. And did the same thing to Lacy and placed her in a bathroom, like separate. So they were separated out. And so he leaves Lacy there in the bathroom.
Does he have a gun or something?
He has a gun, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And at this time, he leaves Lacy. So elsewhere he goes and he beats and rapes Mary.
Oh my God.
Hits her over the head multiple times with the gun. And ended up turning out it was a BB gun.
What a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they make BB guns that look real anymore. At least in America.
I have one that looks real.
But when did you get it?
2000.
Yeah, so I don't think that's far enough back I could believe like sort of like toy guns are all like you can't make toy guns that look like real guns in America.
Gotcha.
You can do that in Japan. You can make sick airsoft guns that look like real guns because gun
Crime
violence is not a thing there really.
Yeah.
You have like 10 deaths a year with guns.
Wow.
So it's just not a part of the
culture.
Issue.
Right.
Yeah, like it reminds me of hearing a story of somebody buying airsoft guns like that in Japan, going to the airport, and they like pull them out, and it looks like a legit gun, but they're holding it so they know it's airsoft, and like everybody behind them is like, oh my God, and they're just like, put it back in the bag, and they go along. It's like, wait, what?
But don't do that. Don't.
But yeah. So he then strangles Mary to death with a wire from a coffee pot. And at this point, he returns to Lacy in the bathroom.
Oh.
And she's crying because obviously, I mean, a horrible thing is happening.
Yeah.
And she begged Jones not to hurt her mother, but we know already that
He's hurt, yeah.
But he says that he's not going to because he's going to hurt her. And then he hit her over the head at least 8 times with the BB gun.
Oh my, this is a child.
It is.
Oh
an 11-year-old little girl. Which caused severe lacerations and broken skull fragments. And then strangled her as well.
No.
And left.
Did she live?
So, obviously they don't return home.
Of course not.
Because, you know, the things have happened and police arrive and they find the scene of a double homicide.
No.
They find Mary's body tied to the chair, dead. And then they find Lacy and they're documenting the crime scene.
No way.
When
no way.
One of the crime scene investigators taking photos
is like, oh my God.
He takes a photo.
Oh my God.
And the flash wakes up Lacy, who was beaten so badly that they thought she was dead.
Why did they not check a pulse?
I don't know. Maybe they hadn't watched enough movies to know that.
Oh my God, that's the first thing you do. Oh my God.
But yeah, they took a picture and like her eye opened, like as he took the picture.
Holy crap! I just got chills.
Yeah. So again, like she was left for dead. He thought he'd killed her. They thought he'd killed her.
That makes me like a little emotional. She is a child.
Yeah. And fortunately, she survives the whole thing. Obviously, after a while, she stabilizes and she is able to provide a description. Wow. She recalled a man with black hair. He had a bunch of tattoos on his arm.
Did he ever tell them his name?
No.
Okay.
And he had a tear-shaped tattoo on his face. Bald knob, we now know, is around 2,000 people. Not exactly a lot of people run around with teardrop tattoos in general.
Right.
Especially not bald knob. And the police immediately go after Jones because they kind of knew him already.
Oh, so they already knew him.
They knew of him at least. And they were like, oh, well, we know of a guy who has, a bunch of tattoos, including one on his freaking face. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty defining feature to have.
Yeah.
And they go and they pick him up, and he ends up confessing to the crime.
Just like that?
Just like that, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well, that's kind of good, I guess.
Yeah. It's just, well, you think about, like, if he had succeeded, like, he may well have gotten away with it if it weren't for Lacy.
Because it's a random thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he is guilty. He is very, very guilty.
100%.
And he is sentenced to death.
Good. On
April 17th, 1996 is when that verdict comes down.
Wow.
While he is in prison, he got real fat, had high blood pressure and diabetes, and so badly he had to have one of his legs amputated.
That's what happens, people. I see that literally every day.
Yeah, don't get diabetes.
Yeah.
It's a bad time.
It is.
But,
Or if you do have diabetes, just watch what you eat and exercise.
Right. But just don't get diabetes because then you don't have to worry about it as much.
Yes. Yes.
But this story gets a little weird.
Okay.
A little weirder. We're gonna add a little wrinkle to it. Because he ends up being connected to a different rape and murder.
Who? What?
It happened in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. June 1st, 1991, the body of a woman is found in a motel room. So this happens before.
Right.
Her name...
How did he get from Ohio to Florida? Was it Ohio?
Yeah, he started out in Ohio.
He made it to Florida?
At some point.
Is this connected through DNA? Do they do a DNA thing?
Maybe.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Stop trying to spoil everything.
I'm sorry. I have so many questions.
But yes, DNA is going to come into play here.
Okay.
So her name was Lorraine Ann Barrett. She went by Lori. She is 32 years old from Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. And she was in town in Fort Lauderdale on vacation. And witnesses saw her with a man who had a bunch of tattoos on his arm and such. Mm-hmm. Nobody really knew who he was, though. They're just like, we're not familiar with this guy. Mm-hmm. They provided detailed accounts of like what his tattoos looked like, mm-hmm. and he was hanging out with Lori here, mm-hmm. And she is found dead on June 1st, 1991 there in her motel room, and the case goes nowhere. Like they make a sketch and all that, nothing. They get nothing. And then in 2002, police take another look at the case because things have changed a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're just like, well, let's take a look. And they're like, okay, we could do DNA.
Yeah.
So they collect DNA samples and send it out. And in March of 2003, they get a hit. It's Jack Harold Jones Jr. Wow. So he had done at least one other rape and murder.
And that isn't the only one.
It probably isn't. And he's almost a serial killer as far as we know at this point because it's 3.
Yes.
He thought he was. He thought he had 3.
Yeah. But I think it has to be, I don't remember I think it's like 3 different separate killings in 3 separate locations or something like that. That's non-familial type thing.
Yeah, like, because otherwise you're talking about like a spree killer, I guess. That's
why Ronald Gene Simmons, he's not a serial killer. He's a family annihilator. Even though he killed multiple people.
Yeah, he killed more people than this guy did, probably.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
But yeah, the detective, he believed that there was probably more out there, because there always is, Yeah,
you don't just go from 0 to 1,000.
Not typically.
No.
Well, you certainly don't. It's more like you don't go from 1,000 to 0. You don't. Yeah. You don't usually
just stop. Yeah, yeah. And the fact that he was in Ohio and then Fort Lauderdale and then Arkansas, like that's a lot of movement, a lot of territory in there.
Yeah. So there's we're talking about years apart, so there's probably something in between.
Yes.
He's going to plead guilty to this in 2005. He's given a life sentence, which is kind of just a formality because he's on death row in Arkansas, but you still, get that off the books and you get some closure there.
If for whatever reason one was overturned, the other is there.
Yeah, that's true. So fast forward to 2017. That's when Arkansas got very kill happy.
Oh, really?
That's when the state of Arkansas, not the people of Arkansas, the state specifically, is when the state's supply of midazolam.
That is Versed. I give that every day.
Yeah.
It is a medicine that if you want to know about it, it's a benzodiazepine, which is in the same class as like Valium and things like that. It induces anxiolysis, whatever you want to call it, which is, it reduces anxiety, helps you calm down. It's what we give in combination with a medication called fentanyl, which is a pain medicine. And that induces, both of those together induce conscious sedation, moderate sedation, twilight sleep, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Helps you get nice and relaxed. But in large doses, you stop breathing. It's
used in concert with other stuff for executions.
Potassium.
When you do the lethal injection. And it's, so the drugs, the midazolam.
Mm-hmm.
It was about to expire, the supply that Arkansas had.
Can they not just buy more?
It's difficult to buy more because companies won't sell it to you if you're like, we're going to use it for executions.
Gotcha.
And there was like a big controversy with the company who supplied it in the first place. Was like, we were told it was for a different thing.
Oh.
So there's all kinds of stuff like that.
Well, they just need a company that's sole permit. I mean, it's kind of
Well, it's really hard because like also I think some of the drug companies that do it are based in like Europe and they won't do it at all.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, this was actually like a very infamous time, I guess. Famous or infamous, however you want to go with it. Like lots of protests. There's national attention on this because I think it was going to be 8 people they're going to kill in like a few weeks.
Question.
They were doubling up and stuff, yeah.
Is that when celebrities came to Jonesboro?
Yes.
Who was it? Johnny Depp?
Or maybe not Jonesboro, but Little Rock.
Yeah. It was like
Johnny Depp was one of them. I read an article about one of the West Memphis 3 guys returned.
Yes.
I think it was Eccles.
Yes, I remember. Okay, I remember this.
Yeah, I read I got sidetracked at one point and read like this big long article about him when he came back. And how weird that was.
Yeah.
And like I think he even knew some of the guys who were on death row that were about to be executed. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, there is like another article I read about somebody who was adopted when they were a child, and they ended up finding out that Jones was their biological father.
No way.
Yeah, and she came down.
I wonder if that was a consensual thing or a rape.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, they had the birth certificate. Like she was able to get the birth certificate, so I assume
consensual thing, maybe.
Seems like it.
Possibly
consensual-ish.
Maybe.
At worst is what I would say. I don't know. I don't have any details on that.
We don't know.
But yeah, she came down during that protest era and had written letters to him and back and forth and stuff.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the evidence was there. The decision was made by a jury. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I don't know. We talk about this every time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He had pretty much like resigned himself to this. He was just like, just get it over with. Because I mean, also he tried suicide multiple times before, so it's not surprising that he'd just be like, yeah, let's get it done with.
Yeah. And honestly, I hate to say this. If you're gonna go, that's probably a real nice way to go, because this is what happens. You get relaxed and you go to sleep and you don't wake up. And people, when you hear old people, this is really depressing. But
there's some controversy though, because like there have been all those times where it did not go that way, such as Christina Riggs.
What happened with her? Oh, the needle.
They had a lot of trouble with the needle and stuff.
Well,
and I think it's happened to other people's.
But that's just the needle. I mean, as long as you got a good
others,
IV.
Though.
I don't know. I know what Versed does to patients, and this is how they feel. That's how they feel. You know what I mean? Like that's the purpose of the drug, is to help you feel relaxed. In large doses, man, you won't have a freaking care in the world. But I mean, it's just like, first off, I'd hate to be the one that pushed those drugs for for the person on death row. That would be a hard job.
Yeah.
And I think they protect the identity of the people that
do
that. Yeah.
It's anonymous. Sort of like there's the other one where I don't know if they still, where if you do a firing squad.
Is that a thing?
It like very recently was. It may not be, but Utah still had the firing squad very recently. If they still don't.
What?
And one of the things is nobody knows who has the real bullet.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, but it's just like, you hear old people talk about, I just want to die in my sleep. And it's like, man, that's the way to go. You just don't even know. You're just asleep and you just don't wake up.
And hopefully you have a good dream before you go.
Maybe.
I had a weird dream last night. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Anyway. I fell into molten metal like in Terminator fighting a Nazi.
Did you win?
We both died, so I guess I won in a way.
I mean,
there was another person there, and I was like, tell my story or something like that.
Was it me?
No.
Was I there?
I don't know who it was. It's one of those things where it's like a dream where it's like, I don't know who these people are. Did
you see the post I made from our page?
I did, yes.
It was pretty, kind of remember that. It's like hearing a noise downstairs. It's that girl, the kombucha girl, the meme of the kombucha girl. And it's like, when I hear a noise downstairs, thinking there might be a true crime episode dedicated to me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, April 24th, 2017 is when he is set to be executed, and he was going to be one of two. We might cover the other one, so no spoilers.
Okay.
We might at some point.
Okay. We haven't already talked about him?
No, it wasn't marked off.
Okay.
This person.
Okay.
Again, Arkansas did a lot of these. There's a reason there was a lot of controversy here.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so final meal, I have this information. I know you love that. I know that's like your favorite thing.
I do like that. Tell me.
We got 3 pieces of fried chicken.
Why is fried chicken such a popular one?
I don't know. Fried chicken's good. What are you doing? Protecting your heart? Like
No. It's fried chicken. If I'm going to have a final meal, it's going to be, I don't know. What would your final meal be?
If they can get me like good, fresh fried chicken from Gus's, I might be into that. A perfectly cooked like fillet would be a good one.
Yes, a fillet from Arthur's in Little Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want.
That sort of thing.
I also want some delicious salmon with like a soy ginger glaze over it.
Salmon's good.
Sushi. Want some sushi? What else would be good?
Slice pecan pie that you save for later.
Oh, that was a thing.
Yes. So yeah. Anyway, fried chicken, potato logs with tartar sauce. Beef jerky bites. Beef jerky is a good call because
I like beef jerky.
Beef jerky, for one, is too expensive.
Very expensive.
I mean, I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure it costs that for a reason, but I don't like it. I want it to cost less.
Me too.
3 Butterfinger bars, a chocolate milkshake with Butterfinger bits in it, and fruit punch. I feel like fruit punch or a version of fruit punch comes up a lot as well.
I think so too. Ice cream happens a lot too.
Yeah.
Or some variation of it.
Gotta have a dessert.
If I'm having ice cream, it's gonna be Andes.
Yeah, I don't know what I would get for ice cream. I would make Chick-fil-A bring back the chocolate coffee shake or whatever it was that they made for like 1 year.
They do have great milkshakes though at Chick-fil-A.
But they should bring back that one. But unfortunately, I'll never be on death row, so they'll never bring it back for me. So yeah.
I don't think Chick-fil-A would do that for you on death row anyway.
That wouldn't be very Christian of them, would it? So anyway, all they'd have to do is get like some
coffee bits,
some sort of coffee syrup to put in it, because that's the only thing they'd be missing from what they. And
then the chocolate chip milkshake or whatever it is.
It's cookies and cream, and Oreo. So they still have Oreo. The cookies and cream. Yes. So they already have that part ready to go. Yes. So just have somebody go get some like coffee syrup thing from like Starbucks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And because he'd become so obese, they had a lot of trouble putting a central line in his neck.
Dude.
They tried to do it for 45 minutes before they ended up putting it somewhere else.
Wow.
So fun time.
The fact that they put a central line in, that's Well, first off, he's diabetic. He's overweight. And that's your vein. And he was a drug addict. So your veins are dunzos. You get a central line when you have nothing else. And it goes in your groin or it goes in your neck.
Yeah, and they tried for 45 minutes in the neck. And
they went to his groin.
I guess so.
Wow. That means they had to take his pants off.
Fun.
Just you know, probably at least.
Cool.
Yeah.
And he is pronounced dead at 7:20 p.m. And
wow.
Yeah, and also like the family of Mary Phillips, like Lacy, she was like, get him done. Like none of them were like, you know, sometimes you hear about it and they're like, oh, that would be bad for the memory or whatever. They're like, get him out.
He's an evil
Put
man.
him in the ground.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah. I mean, he was tried by a jury of his peers and thus convicted. And the conviction held. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder how much longer I feel like Arkansas will probably have the death penalty forever, it feels like. Whereas like so many other states have like gotten rid of it.
Okay, here's the states that are going to have the death penalty forever.
Us
Florida,
and Texas.
Georgia, Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, maybe a Carolina.
So basically all of the states that don't give a crap.
Oh, you mean the South? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The states that were like, COVID's not real, don't even worry about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a full house today at the Texas Ranger Stadium. I'm sure that'll work out fine for everybody.
For real?
Yeah, in Arlington. Like
with masks required?
No, they don't have mask mandate in Texas at all. Our mask mandate ended.
Yeah.
But I have noticed when I am in the populated part of Arkansas, such as Little Rock area,
yeah,
people wear masks.
Yeah.
But when I go up to, say, Searcy, people are not so great on the masks.
Yes.
It's kind of like when in some places where they're like, hey, I'm having trouble finding a place to get a vaccine. And they're like, look in the place that's the most Republican.
Wow. That's like, you sound like a cryptic like wizard. Look in the place that's the most Republican. There you will find what you are seeking.
And it works because like people...
Yeah.
They politicized this whole stupid thing.
I had somebody today that was serving me coffee at the hospital. They asked me, how do you know, he said that I've asked some other employees, you know, how you feel about the mask thing being lapsed as a healthcare person. I was like, listen, I'm going to wear my mask and I hope the people around me wear their mask because although I'm fully vaccinated, I want to make sure that somebody's grandparent can stay with them for a little bit longer if that's the case. They're saying that the Pfizer, you know, reduces, like, you don't carry it. You won't transmit it. You know, there's a very low chance of that. But I don't want to take that chance. So out of respect for other people, I'm going to wear my mask. And you know what? Even if a place says you don't have to wear a mask, then that's okay.
If a place says you don't have to wear a mask, I'm probably just not going to go to that place, to be honest.
Well, if they say, like, not in a, like, a don't wear a mask thing, but if they're like, it's up to you. I mean, I can see some restaurants, especially nationally owned restaurants that don't really make the rules that are like, you know, locally, they're like, yeah, your facility doesn't have to require it anymore. I don't know. I feel like in Arkansas, we're going to be stuck with a lot of businesses that say, don't worry about a mask. I'm going to call my mom out right here, even though she listens to this.
Oh, man.
This is happening. We went to a restaurant or was it a restaurant? No, it was something else. We went to a museum and it said that masks were required before entering. And she was like, and we stopped and I was like, okay, you need to put on your mask before we go in. There's a sign. She said, well, it's going to end at the end of this week anyways. And I was like, but it's not ended now. And it's a private business. So you have to put on your mask. And she just gets so much grief. And I'm like, you're an educated person. Anyway, it's just frustrating because first off,
it's not done.
No.
We're not actually done yet, you doofuses. No. Like, get it together.
You know what? The numbers are getting so low, and it's so exciting, and we're getting so close. We're almost there.
It's basically like if you go on a diet and exercise for a little bit, and you're like, hooray, I lost weight. Anyway, going to eat this cake.
Yes.
And stop doing anything for the next year.
Yes.
It's like you're undoing everything.
Yes.
Anyway, let's move on because I have more.
Oh, there's more?
There's another wrinkle to this story.
I thought you were done. Okay, go ahead.
In 2006.
Wait, we're going back now.
We're back in 2006.
Okay.
Just because he was executed in 2017.
Right.
He wrote a letter in 2006. Held on to the letter until shortly before he was to be executed. He sent this letter to his sister with the instructions to not open it until 1 year after he had been killed.
So 2018?
Yes. And
it wasn't that long ago.
She waited the whole year. I wouldn't have. I would have been like, I want to see what's in this.
You're dead. You don't matter.
You're about to die even. Like, I would have opened it before he was executed.
Yeah? What is it? Is he confessing to everything?
The letter contains a confession of another rape and murder.
I called it.
So, in Florida again.
We're back in Florida. Where at?
Back in Florida. A place called Hollywood, Florida. This is all like South Florida near Miami-ish.
I think I've been there.
This is back in 1981.
Wow. Okay. We're going back.
That this happens. Or 83. 83 is when it happens.
That's quite a bit before 91.
I know, right?
Okay.
So, he confesses to the rape and murder of a woman named Regina Harrison. And again, this is Hollywood, Florida, which means he is officially a serial killer. Congratulations, you sack of garbage.
Did they confirm this? Okay, don't go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, fun fact, somebody else was serving time for this crime.
No way.
Yeah. So, the story goes that she had been last seen leaving her parents' home to go for a bike ride, and she never returned home. The next day, she's found by her family who are searching for her, naked and in the woods, dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's strangled and raped.
Yeah, she is strangled. Okay. She is strangled and had been raped. Witnesses had recalled seeing a man on a bicycle with her.
He could get on a bike?
There was, he wasn't always super fat.
Okay.
Is the impression I get.
Okay.
I think that was more of a prison thing.
Gotcha.
They had like a sketch made up of him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a detective who saw the sketch on TV like a year or two later. And he's like, this looks like a guy named Ronald Henry Stewart.
Who?
So, Ronald Henry Stewart, he's kind of a no-goodnik himself. The reason the detective knows him, he's a serial rapist.
So they looked alike?
They apparently looked enough alike. And they got a witness who pointed him out in a lineup, which is notoriously unreliable sometimes.
Right.
And Stewart, like I said, he was a serial rapist. He was active at this time. He had been caught. He'd never killed anybody in those other crimes.
Mm-hmm.
But the investigators are like, that sketch looks like him. They go to him. They get the lineup, and he pleads no contest to this because they were going to put him on trial to like get the death penalty. So to avoid the death penalty, he pled no contest for a 50-year sentence.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Well, how did they was there DNA involved with her case?
Not at the time, but later there will be.
For her case?
They didn't have DNA at the time because it was the 80s.
But they collected specimens and stuff? Okay.
I believe they end up exhuming her body to confirm this. I'm going to...
Okay.
Or something like that.
Okay, just go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I can't help it.
But, yeah, so they look at this letter and they're like,
Yeah?
We got to go confirm this now.
This is a big deal, yes.
You got to verify this stuff because sometimes criminals, they're real sons of bitches. They'll lie to you, weirdly enough. And sometimes they'll confess to stuff. And like, what's he going to do? Get in trouble more?
Exactly.
He's dead?
Yeah, exactly.
Or even then, he was about to die.
Why did he say you have to wait a year? Like, what's it matter? When you're dead, you're dead.
Maybe he just didn't want to deal with it while he was alive. I don't know. But I would have opened that some bitch immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Let's see what's in here.
Anyway.
They go back. They run DNA, and it is a match for Jack Harold Jones Jr. Ronald Stewart had died in jail of cancer in 2007.
Not to say that he seems like a great upstanding guy, but I mean, he is serving time for a crime he did not commit.
He was serving time for other crimes, though.
That's true.
So we kind of dodged a bullet on a miscarriage of justice here.
Because he's a bad guy.
Because he would have been in prison anyway.
Okay.
He would not have been out with his other crimes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was a miscarriage of justice, but it didn't matter.
In the best possible way that there could be a miscarriage of justice.
Just kind of dodged a bullet there. Like they could have gone like way worse. Like he was fully innocent and that was a
father of 4 and died, innocent and an upstanding citizen.
Yeah. So That is, and those are like some big gaps there. You got like early 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. So I don't know if there's more that he still didn't confess to or what.
I'm wondering that too, because those are big gaps. And you figure that you just don't go violent like that. And I don't know.
You wouldn't think so.
So that's the only one he confessed to? Just
the only one.
Did they publish his letter?
I don't know if they published the full letter, but...
I wonder if there's other things in there that they haven't confirmed yet.
I think because he sent it to his sister, I think she would have put that out there.
Forward.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a wild story, Andrew.
Indeed it was.
Wow. It just kept turning and turning and turning.
Yeah. Just it's like one more thing, by the way.
I Googled pictures of him. He a big boy.
Yeah, you all the pictures you're seeing there are all when he's in prison and...
Oh, look, and there's ones the wrong man was convicted. They look nothing alike. Not even... Oh, well.
I'd say they looked more alike when they were younger.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. Yeah, he gained quite a bit of weight. Oh, is this a picture? Oh, is that Mary?
That's Mary.
Oh, she's so beautiful. Wow, that's so sad. So sad. All those families. And poor Lacy. Wow. Wonder what kind of... She had any lasting effects.
I'm sure at least some. But
What a brave...
She grew up, got married and stuff. So.
Oh, good. What a brave person. That's a very traumatic thing. Actually, it's kind of funny that you bring up a story about violence against children because April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Not that that's the same thing, but just if you know somebody, you can go to childwelfare.gov.
Well, I mean, report. Our murderer was abused as a child. Don't abuse your children. They'll grow up to be serial murderer rapists. Or maybe they won't. I don't know.
And that kind of goes along with some of the other stuff that we talked about before. Just he was failed. He was failed as a child, and that's sad. That's really sad.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if it would have been different.
Nature versus nurture. I mean, I'm sure a little bit probably was nature. He probably may have not come from the best, if you're just talking straight genetics, I mean, he might have not come from the best genetics, but also nurture can go a long way. And your nature can almost be overcome a little bit with nurture.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like so.
I'm more on the nurture camp personally.
But I mean, there are things that you can't. I mean, even if let's say you're adopted, you're born into a bad situation. Your parents are awful people. Your biological parents are awful people, and you're put up for adoption. Not that that's an awful thing, but just saying like your biological parents are terrible people. They put you up for adoption. You're adopted by a wonderful, wonderful people. Then I think there will still be predispositions for, let's say if they struggle with mental health issues, bipolar, schizophrenia, I think you have a genetic predisposition for those. Yeah,
but that's why hopefully you have a good nurture.
Yeah.
You can get some, therapy and medication for that.
Or to help you be self-aware, at least, that you do have a predisposition for it and, help you overcome it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow, that was really kind of sad. It was sad all around.
It's always sad.
It always is. The only good one is, there's not really many because bad things happen in every story.
Yeah, the closest to a good one was the other one where the girl was alive.
Jennifer Schuett?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the closest thing to...
Dude.
This is still a good one.
That one was... Ooh, that one gave me chills.
And even then, it's still like...
It was awful.
There's a lot of horrible things.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Wow.
But,
okay, Andrew, great story. Thank you for that.
So, what you been looking at? Anything?
What have I been looking at? I
can cover this segment too if you need me to.
You watch a lot. I did not watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, let me tell you all about it.
No, don't do that. But I'm just not super into it like I was WandaVision. WandaVision took me a couple episodes, and then I was like, something weird's going on, and I got more into it. First episodes, I was like, me. You're the opposite. You liked the first episodes, and then you were like,
I was all in on that.
I liked the trailer for Loki, the new Loki show that Disney's putting out.
Yeah, I still haven't watched the trailer.
Dude, it looks awesome.
Have you seen the trailer for the Suicide Squad?
I did.
It looks good. I'm into it.
Isn't it? You know what it feels like?
What?
Suicide Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's made by James Gunn.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm feeling I'm feeling like it's just Guardians of the Galaxy with a different cast. So He already did it, James Gunn.
It's a very different cast, though.
He already did that. I think
it's different enough. And also, he's like a big Suicide Squad fan. Like, I watched the DC Fandom, which they did instead of like Comic-Con or whatever. And he was talking about all this like weird, obscure stuff. Because they're using like the weird, obscure villains.
Yeah.
Probably because a lot of them are going to die, which is kind of the deal. But yeah, I don't know. I liked it. It looks good.
Yeah.
We get yet another version of King Shark.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
What the heck is he?
He's a big shark man. He's in that Harley Quinn show, but he's voiced by Ron Funches.
Who?
He's a comedian with a very silly voice.
Who is he voice? Who plays him in the movie?
What's his name? Sylvester Stallone.
No way.
Yeah.
That's funny. He ripped apart a guy.
He did. That's what he does.
Pretty gnarly. Why didn't he bite him? He's a shark.
I'm sure he'll do that at some point.
I mean, it makes sense because he's a shark.
I bet he bites somebody's head off or something.
Okay.
If I were to guess.
Did I say that I'd finished that book, the audiobook?
The glass one?
Yeah.
Stone of Glass?
Yeah.
I don't think you had finished it yet.
I finished it. I'm interested to see the next book. Wish there was less. There's like a little bit of a teen romance. It's not really teen, but it's young adult romance triangle. And I could really do without that. I'm not into that.
You're like, I already had this. It was called Twilight.
Exactly. I don't need no more of that. But no, I'm in it for the fantasy aspect as far as like magic and crap. And I don't care about your feelings for one another. It doesn't matter. Get to the cool stuff. You're an assassin. Do some assassin stuff with magic. So yeah, I'll probably finish the series. At least I want to see what happens in the next book, and then we'll go from there. I think it will get deeper, and the characters will get deeper. Hopeful, at least.
I mean, they got like 8 or 9 books, so you would think so.
I'm also I have just an hour or two left of the audiobook for the Midnight Library. That one at
yeah.
The
thing.
It's very.
Where it's like these are your lives or whatever.
Yeah, it's an introspective thing. Definitely, it's a slow. It's not action packed. It's definitely a slow burner, but it makes me think. It makes me think about what would I change about my life, and would my life really be that good if those things changed? If the things that I regret, if the rest of my life were changed, would my life be better for real though? Or, anyway.
Yeah. It's like that Star Trek episode where Picard goes back in time and he's like, acts different when he's younger. And then when he gets older, he's a total loser instead of the captain. Picard. Yeah. I watched the movie version of Going Clear.
Did you like it?
It's fine. It's only 2 hours long, and again, it was a 17-hour long audiobook, so they leave out a lot. It's very condensed.
Yeah.
If you just want to do the one thing and jump into that, I think it's really good. It's on HBO Max. Honestly, I think they could have done this as like a docuseries that goes for like 8 episodes, and it would have been much better, at least to me. Maybe watch it if you don't want to dive headfirst in like I did.
Just going in.
Yeah.
Going in the deep end.
More importantly, I watched 4 Godzilla and or Kong movies.
Andrew.
I finally watched those movies.
Oh my gosh.
I watched Godzilla from 2014.
Yeah.
Starring Bryan Cranston and Elizabeth Olsen and some other guy.
How was it?
It was pretty good.
Oh.
It was directed by the guy who did Rogue One before he did Rogue One.
Rogue One was just okay for me.
But then he also got sort of kicked off Rogue One. It's the whole thing. Star Wars directors lately.
Okay.
Then I watched Kong Skull Island. That's the one that has Thomas Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson, John C. Reilly, and John Goodman, and the lawyer guy from Parks and Rec, whose name I don't remember. He's like a red-haired guy who's like monotone all the time. He's in it. At first I thought he was the guy who plays Coulson from Avenger stuff, but it is not.
Now I have to go find who you're talking about.
He's also the captain's husband on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's in The Good Place. He's in all kinds of stuff. You would recognize him if you saw him.
Yes.
What's his name?
Trevor Nelson in real life.
Yes.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
So he's in that.
Yes, he's in The Good Place. Yes, that's where I know him from.
And then I watched Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which has the Millie something, the girl who plays 11.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, and there's somebody else that was like recognizable, but I can't think of who it was now. That one's pretty good. It's okay. I think that's probably my least favorite of the 4.
Didn't you say the movie had been delayed for some reason? Or?
No, that was Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Mortal Kombat's been delayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That got delayed by like a week for some reason. And then I watched Godzilla versus Kong, and that's the best one.
When was that made?
That came out like a week ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the new one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I liked it. It was probably...
Wait, what'd you watch on HBO?
HBO Max.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite of the bunch. I would say I'd probably go Godzilla versus Kong. Then I'd either go Kong Skull Island or Godzilla 2014, and then King of the Monsters at the bottom.
I have no interest in any of them.
You should check them out. They're pretty good. No. Millie Bobby Brown is in the last one. She's in Godzilla versus Kong. Also, I think it's the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh my God, I love him.
Yeah, he's in Godzilla versus Kong.
Ricky Baker.
Yeah, I think
that kid.
I think so. Yeah,
Ricky.
He has an accent.
Ricky
I noticed
Baker.
he had a weird accent, and I was like, I think that's the kid from Wilder People. That movie I haven't seen.
Your beard is good.
That's not from Wilder People. That's
No,
from a thing I do know.
But it's New Zealand stuff.
Yeah.
Did you watch that movie? The Wilder People one?
No.
You have to watch it. It's so good. It'll make you feel good.
I forget what it was. It was on something recently.
I think it's on Netflix.
Maybe that's what it was. Because I looked on HBO Max. I was like, is this where I saw it on?
I think it's on Netflix. 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 That kid is so funny. I started following him on Instagram when I finished that movie because I love New Zealand humor. It's so dry and the delivery is it's incredible. And it's just like Flight of the Conchords, Reese Darby, Brett McKenzie, Jermaine Clement. I can't remember. Hannah. Is it
Montana.
Rachel. Now I have to look it up.
So yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong's pretty good. It's spoilers for Godzilla vs. Kong as if it matters. It does the typical thing of
Taika Waititi.
That guy. Yeah. They punch for a bit and then they're mates. Cool. Because there's a bigger threat.
Who is
as there always is.
Mothra.
No, Mothra's in King of the Monsters though.
Okay.
The bigger threat, spoiler, you'll figure if you know any Godzilla stuff, you'll figure it out in the first like 10 minutes. It's Mecha Godzilla. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Which is pretty cool. So yeah, that movie's worth checking out if you just want to see a big dumb thing.
I figured out the name of the lady I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay.
Rachel House. She is a New Zealand lady. She plays the voice of the grandmother on Moana, and then she also plays in Hunt for the Wilder People and some other Taika Waititi stuff because she is a New Zealand lady. So Julian Dennison is the kid is Ricky Baker in Hunt for the Wilder People. And I'm trying to see if he was in the Kong movie. Yep, Godzilla versus Kong.
I told you.
He's also in Deadpool 2. He's also in Deadpool 2. Did I know that? I've seen that movie.
I guess he's that. Yeah, he's that kid in Deadpool 2.
Man, that movie.
Yeah,
Hunt for the Wilder People, so good.
So I think
you had a busy week.
Yeah, I watched 3 of those movies in like a 24-hour span. God. I watched them all. Like that was my whole Tuesday last week, and then Wednesday came, and that's when Godzilla vs. Kong came out. So I watched that night.
Oh my gosh! You know what I did Tuesday? I took a sick pukey diarrhea cat to the vet, and they were like, "Well, he didn't really want us examining him today," and I was like, "I'm really sorry if he was a little turd to you." I just felt really bad because I'm sure he was like.
I feel like that's most cats, though.
Oh, yeah, they're probably used to it.
They're definitely harder to deal with a lot of times.
When they call me to talk about him, they call him our friend, saying like, our friend here didn't really want to be examined today. And I'm like, thanks for being kind about it. He was a dick, I'm sure. I'm really sorry about that.
You're not friends with him. You don't know him.
He's a douchebag. Big thing coming up this week. Short week at work for me because John's having surgery on Wednesday. Did I tell you about that?
Maybe. Is this teeth related?
Oh, yeah. Is it teeth related?
Then I have heard about this.
It's a lot.
I don't think you've mentioned it on air.
He's having... Well, okay, so this was like last fall, sometime early fall. I had just asked John... We got talking about the dentist. I was like, well, I'm going... I was like, told him I was going to the dentist. And he's like, oh, I need to make an appointment. I was like, when's the last time you went? He's like, it's been like 15 years or something. I was like, holy crap, you're an adult. Make an appointment. And so he did, and they got to the dentist, and they're like, holy crap, what happened to your mouth? And apparently, and that's never a good thing for a dentist to say,
That's not a good thing for any doctor to say about anything. They when
they look at your x-ray and say, oh, wow.
Yeah, if they're surprised by something, it's not good.
Not good.
It's like when I had the staph infection on my arm and I showed them and they're like, oh, no, go to the hospital.
Oh, wow, no.
Or when I had mono and they pulled up the little magnifying thing with the light to look, and before he even got it up, he goes, oh, yeah, okay.
He just glanced past your mouth.
Yeah, like he didn't have to really give it a good inspection. He could tell it was bad.
It was bad. It's kind of like that. They did the x-ray and they're like, oh, wow. So he's got, it's over on the right side of his mouth. Basically, a baby tooth never came down, and there's an adult tooth above it that also never came down, and it's growing into the bone in his upper jaw. It's basically by like his sinuses, but it's like to the left of his nose, basically. I'm sorry, to the right, whatever side it's on. It's basically to the side of his nose, up in the bones in there. So they have to go and like cut it out, basically. And then he has to have all 4 wisdom teeth out at the same time. And I was like, well, this is going to be fun. So we went into the store yesterday to stock up on all the soft goodies, got some mashed potatoes, got some Jell-O, got some pudding, yogurt. I don't think we got any ice cream because like you got enough sugar here, I think. But soups, got a lot of soups, got some broth. And we ran into Oakley, who did an episode with me, and her husband, Steven.
Has anybody ever called her Oakley Dokley?
I'm sure.
Okay.
It's a high likelihood here. But
it has to have happened.
I ran into her and the cart was just full of crap. Mac and cheese was in there, which I said might be a little too tough to eat at first. But anyway, I was like, please don't judge this cart. There's a lot of crap in here. That's because it is crap, but it's because John's having mouth surgery this week.
Trying to play that off like that's why you had all that stuff.
But I did have Cheez-Its in there, and that definitely was not for John.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the extra toasty Cheez-Its.
I'm sure you doubled up on everything too, so you'd be like, no, this is all for him. But like secretly,
I'm not
it's
gonna
like
double up. I'm just gonna eat one of the pudding packs.
You're just like, no, you get double the pudding packs.
There's a banana pudding pack.
That sounds gross.
I want to try that.
I'm not on board. I don't like banana pudding to begin with. So.
Oh, well, there you go. Do you like bananas proper? Like just bananas?
Yeah, like just a banana. Just like, hey, check it out. It's a banana.
You're not a big dessert person, though.
It's also true.
You're not a big sweets person.
There's only so many like things that are like, this tastes like a fruit and is a sweet, and that I'm willing to be okay with. Like grape flavored things, not a fan. Yeah. Banana flavored, not a fan.
Oh, like that. Cherry is hit or miss.
There's also a lot of the banana stuff where it's like, this doesn't taste like a banana because it's based on old banana that isn't a banana that exists anymore. Yes. Bananas taste different because they almost went extinct or something.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, banana's weird.
Also, smoothie, frozen fruit. Got frozen fruit to make smoothies.
Okay, I was going to ask if you were going to make them yourself or if you bought some sort of just pre-done smoothies.
No, it's just frozen fruit. And then we've got some yogurt. We've got some milk. We've got...
You can put dinosaurs into the smoothies.
No.
That's a thing from Gravity Falls.
No, I am going to put protein powder because he's going to have to get some kind of protein.
Because you're going to get yoked.
Well, I mean, he's got to heal. You need protein to heal. And I don't think pudding packs are going to provide an applesauce.
Probably not.
Not enough, at least.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe they will.
No, they
could
will
work.
I can confirm that no. So fun journey this week. Got to get John all healed up. He only has a couple days and he has to go back to work. Feel bad for him. It sucks.
I finished Harley Quinn, that TV show.
Did you like it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, you sent me a clip of it.
I did. Oh yeah, the cancer ray.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think I killed my plants already that I was so excited about. I think they got too much sun, which I did not know was a thing. You can get too much sun, even though on the package it says 6+ hours of direct sunlight every day. I
think you, of all people, should know that too much sun is a thing. From all the times you've been cooked out there.
I have. I even got sun last week. I did. Did you see the ditch out here?
No. Should I have?
Well, it's usually grown up by this time, but I mowed it and weed eated. It took forever. And I'm only going to do it one more time. It took so long. Anyway, all that to say, I got burned when I did that. And I wasn't even out there very long. Already. Yeah. It's only April. Also,
you're like a vampire. You just need to go out like wearing long sleeves and a big hat.
I probably do. Like Marceline.
Exactly. Like a vampire.
Yeah. Also, pollen. Just want to say, please take your allergy medicine because pollen is crazy right now.
Yeah, I should wash my car.
It will don't matter because it's going to get pollen again.
Yeah, you're right. I need to get windshield washing liquid because I think mine's low.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Keep that off, yeah. But I mean, I literally, when I went into work, my car was fine. It was normal amount of dirt, no pollen. I come out and it is just covered in pollen, absolutely covered in pollen. And I was like, how am I breathing?
I'm glad I don't have that problem.
Oh, I do.
Because it's doesn't seem fun to just be like, hey, the weather's beautiful and you feel miserable.
Yes. Anyway, I think that's about it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I just started reading like today, the comic book Invincible, because there's that Amazon show.
Yeah.
I know some of the spoilers about it already, just like the comic book.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure they spoil something on the like thumbnail for Amazon's thing. I don't know. So I think that's weird that they did that. It's like a guy who is he's like a teenager and his dad's a superhero and he's growing up, and like as he hits adolescence, he gets his superpowers. Like his dad's like, you're gonna have superpowers too when you grow up.
He just makes it happen?
No, it's just like it's genetics, you know?
Okay.
His mom's are just a regular lady. His dad's from like space.
Cool.
But there's like a great part where he's working at this like burger restaurant, and he goes outside to take the trash out, and he tosses the garbage bag into the can, except instead of going to the can, it just like shoots it all the way up into space, and he's just like, yes, I got my powers finally. Just
like hitting puberty.
Yeah, it just cracks me up, just like, boom. That's in space now.
That's funny.
So, yeah, that's I'm checking that out.
Let me know how it is.
I'll let you know.
I need to watch that one show on Amazon Prime.
The
Bad Super. Yeah, that one. Do you like it?
I love the first season. I haven't watched the second.
Okay.
Be warned, it is very gross and very violent.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Huh.
It is.
In what way? Can I ask that?
Like there's massive gore. If you watch the first thing that happens in that show, I kind of don't want to spoil it.
Is it like in the very first like few minutes of the show?
Yes.
Okay.
There is something where it's like, oh, this is what it is.
Is it okay? Is it like just killing people graphically?
There is that.
Okay.
There is a character who I have seen described as Aquaman meets Harvey Weinstein.
Oh.
So there's also like stuff like that.
Is there rapey really stuff?
There's not a lot. I think there's just like one scene.
I don't like that.
It's very dark, and it's darkly comedic, I guess is what I would describe it as.
Do I want to watch it, Andrew?
I don't know. I described it to you once, and you're like, oh, I watched Game of Thrones. I can deal with gross stuff.
I did watch. That's true, and that's a lot more rapey and violent.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that show just like all rape and violence?
It's pretty bad, yeah.
They're like, let's do a rape and a violence. And they're like, hooray, we've written episode 2.
Oh, look, death at a wedding. How nice.
Yeah, everybody dies.
Literally.
Yeah, there's lots of gore, but it's also so weird, and also, I don't know, you have to, if you're a bad person, maybe, like, you will laugh a lot.
Did you laugh a lot?
I laughed a lot. There were a lot of times I was like, because it's just so ridiculous and horrible, and I just couldn't help but laugh at some of the stuff that happens. I would love to talk about that first season, and
maybe I should watch it just so we can talk about it.
Yeah, maybe watch, again, like, there's a thing that happens very early on involving their version of the Flash, and that's all I'll say.
Their version of the Flash.
Yeah. Because
he's like ripped through somebody. He's so fast.
Maybe.
Did I just guess it?
Maybe.
Cool.
But it is, there's like a fake Justice League, and they're all very obvious analogs of Justice League people. It's like, that guy's the Flash, that's the Aquaman, that's Wonder Woman, that's Superman,
but they're
that's Batman,
douchebags.
but they're terrible, yeah.
Okay.
They're horrible, horrible people. I've considered reading the comic, but I've heard that it's not nearly as good. Because like the show, there's like a certain charm and weirdness to it, and apparently the comic is just mean spirited in a way that's not as interesting, maybe.
Huh.
So I haven't read it, and I don't know if I want to. In fact, I think Carl Urban, who's on that show, he mentioned how
what is his thing in the show?
He hates the superheroes, the supers as they call them.
Oh, okay.
And he's a regular man.
Okay.
He's called Billy Butcher. That's his name. I don't know.
Billy Butcher, you say?
And he has an accent. And
well, he is English.
Yeah. He's
IRL.
He's pretty cool. But yeah, he said, like, in an interview once, like, there's stuff in the comic book that, like, as bad as what we're doing in the show is, it's worse than the comic.
Wow.
So I kind of don't want to read the comic.
Maybe just stay away from that.
Maybe I'll check it out sometime, but it doesn't sound like it's as fun.
Yeah.
As vile and horrible as the TV show is, it is sort of fun and weird. I don't know. I still haven't seen that second season. I don't know how that does.
Well, maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, check it. I recommend it if you can deal with it. Yeah. Like I said, Laser Baby. Now say no more.
Oh, okay. Well, don't.
With that,
let's
go.
Let us conclude. Okay.
I'm gonna go watch basketball.
Is it a thing right now?
It starts at like.
Is it March Madness over? It's April.
There's one more game. It's national championship
tonight.
Yep.
It's the big game.
Yep.
Gonzaga.
Yep.
And.
Do you know the other one?
No, but I heard people say the word Gonzaga today.
Yeah.
And talking about how incredible a basketball game was the other day.
It was very good. Baylor's who they're playing.
Oh, Baylor. Okay.
Yeah, it's Baptists versus Catholics.
I'm rooting for, well, really neither, but okay.
I'm going for the Catholics.
Yeah.
Not because I'm Catholic or care, but because they're from a smaller conference.
Is that Gonzaga?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Gorgonzola. Like the cheese. No, it's not. They're called Gonzaga.
Oh, okay.
I was making a joke about how their name sounds.
Okay. Is that their mascot?
No, they're just bulldogs. I hate when like schools come up with like the lamest name possible.
Yeah.
I've probably mentioned this on the podcast before, but like UA Fort Smith and their team is the Lions. If you're in Fort Smith, you could be like the Outlaws. But if you don't want to be the Outlaws because you're like, oh, it's bad, you can be the Marshals or something. You can be something unique and cool. It's like so obvious and right there.
Just like why is Jonesboro the Hurricanes? There's never a hurricane in Arkansas.
Yeah, that is like a very
You
odd
should be
one.
the tornadoes.
Or cyclones or twisters or...
And then they should be the
straight line winds.
Yeah, I remember when that messed Jonesboro up.
Yeah.
It should be the Storms, and then Storm the X-Men should be the mascot.
The Ridge Boys, Ridge Runners.
There is
that was an idea for Arkansas State.
Wonder Boys.
Yeah.
In Russellville.
Yeah, Arkansas Tech, the Wonder Boys.
Yeah.
The girls used to be called the Wonderettes, but then they changed it to Golden Suns.
Whatever.
Right?
It's weird, but at least it's unique.
Yeah, I guess. The weirdest women's team I've ever heard of sometimes the women will have different names.
Yes.
There are actually two very weird ones. USC, the men are the Trojans. Mm-hmm. The women are the Women of Troy. Why?
Can they be like the Helens or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. The other weird one to me is Louisiana Tech. Their men are the Bulldogs. Their women are the Lady Techsters.
Why?
As in, I don't know why they decided to do that.
As in?
Like, because it's Louisiana Tech.
Oh.
So it's Lady Techsters. Predates texting. Yeah, Arkansas State, when we were the Indians, there was a point where the women were called the Tomahawks.
Well, that makes more sense.
Long time ago, but they changed that at some point.
Now we're Lady Red Wolves.
Yeah. May not even be Lady Red Wolves. It might be like technically just Red Wolves. A lot of schools drop the lady as an official designation.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
But then you have like UA Monticello, where it's the Boll Weevils and Cotton Blossoms, or UCA, the Bears and Sugar Bears.
Sugar Bear.
Whatever.
Should be a honey bear. That would make more sense.
I don't know.
Bears get into honey. Haven't you ever seen Winnie the Pooh?
And that makes them sweet. That's Sugar
Bear.
It's
not sugar. It's just honey.
Hey, Sugar Bear.
Dislike.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to go. There we go. When things open up again, I'm going to hit up the UCA campus. She'd be like, hey, Sugar Bear. Hey, and then the police will come.
And they're literally 7 feet tall and they tower over you.
Finally. No, they'll just be like,
go away.
I'm going to call the police?
Yeah.
Don't
talk
you?
to me.
Who is this old man?
I could literally pick you up by your head.
Finally. I don't know.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that about wraps it up. I think we're done. All right, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for sticking with us every week. We appreciate it. You can catch us on Facebook at Paint the Town Dead. You can catch us on Instagram at Paint the Town Dead, all one word. You can catch us on Twitter at PTTDpod, and feel free to email us at pttdpod@gmail.com. Please be sure to subscribe to anything you can, like anything you can, rate 5 stars, anything you can, comment. Any interaction you have with us on social media helps us out a lot, and on whatever your preferred streaming service. We drop episodes every Tuesday, unless something crazy happens. That's my fault, apparently.
So far.
And I think that's it. Thanks for the story this week, Andrew. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Goodbye.
See you, Sugar Bears.